and welcome to what is the first video ever, episode 1, or should I call this episode 0? I don't know. We'll figure it out when I process the video. Let's call it episode 0. Okay, this is kind of a pilot video of the John Bully Adventures video vlog here on YouTube, and I enjoy getting out. Crazy as it is here in the middle of winter in central southern Indiana. It is currently 22 degrees. Wind's blowing a little bit. And I thought, I'd go out and enjoy these times out here in the middle of the woods, hiking and other stuff too, not just hiking. I figured, why not create a YouTube channel and share it with all y'all? So welcome. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you subscribe down below and click that little bell. You know, all the YouTube people say that. And let's just see where this goes. So it's a new year, 2021, and my first adventure brings me here to Spring Mill State Park here in Mitchell, Indiana. And I am just starting off with a initial hike on trail number 3, and which takes me, this is pretty cool. I've never been here. We'll have to take a look at that. I do have to be careful because I am on this little overlook here, so I don't want to go over the safety railing, but I have been here many a times in the summertime when there's tons of leaves on the trees, but I've never been able to observe this with all the leaves gone. And currently at what's known as Donaldson Cave. Right down there is a cave, and we'll go down there in a little bit and check that out. But you can actually walk up to that cave, and a nice little Babbling Brook flowing through here, and this goes down to a spring mill lake. So we'll check that out a little bit later, but I thought it was pretty cool. So this is a little bit of a better perspective of the cave down here, and they do put the warning signs up here: dangerous area, do not, by no means, go beyond this fence. It's a little better view of the cave and the rapids down there. It's kind of cool in the summertime if the water's flowing as heavily as right there. You'll see kids with little those little donut raft things sliding down them like a little water slide, kind of like a little water park, except just a little bit more dangerous than what you would typically have at a water park. Most water parks don't have rocks and logs in the middle of their water slides. I say do mark their trails rather well here at this park. So we're following trail number 3. It's going to take us by the Twin Caves, Bronson Cave, and through the middle of the woods. And honestly, I consider this, Indiana has many state parks, and this is one of the best, one of the, I call it the luxury state parks. And you'll continue to see why, so stay tuned. Now this is pretty cool. You see this in a lot of Indiana state parks, particularly here in southern Indiana, where you're walking through the woods on this trail and all of a sudden see this straight, it almost looks like a road. And in fact, at one time it was a road. And it currently goes, I'm not sure where it goes. I'm wondering if it's actually the old Stagecoach line, because in just a few moments we're going to take you down to the Pioneer Village, and where the people used to live years ago. And many years ago, a stagecoach probably raced along this once trodden roadway, which is now covered in branches and leaves and all kinds of stuff. But its remnants still remain. Just think of the horses and buggies, stagecoaches, and all the other traffic that has gone down this road of years gone by. One thing Spring Mill is known for is its cave system, and we come across our second cave of our trip today, Bronson Cave, right down there. The walkway's a little icy. Better be careful. Well, I finally made it down this treacherous pathway. Being 24 degrees outside, it's a little icy. But made it to the entrance of Bronson Cave. Now, this is actually just an entrance to a greater cave system. In fact, years ago, back in the 1980s, there was a show called Rescue 911, and it actually featured this very cave right here. Some guy went in, I believe it was this side right here, went exploring, and a rainstorm happened, not necessarily here in the park, but several miles away. And what happened was this cave flooded, guy got stuck, and had to be rescued. And eventually, he was unable to come back up this way in the cave, but continued on down the path of the cave, and was shot out in a rushing stream of water out of Donaldson Cave, which is the cave we first passed just a moment ago, and we'll take a deeper look at that here in just a moment. But here it is. It's just one point in time, this was all underground, and just the erosion of water over time caused the rocks to fall in and make this little entrance that we get to enjoy. The sound of this water is just so relaxing. You can sit here all day in the brisk, cold sunshine. But as cold as it is, I'm going to get cold doing this. Maybe I'll come back and do that in the summer. But need to keep on moving. To the crunching of the ice. This is definitely a handrail required stairway. And as we climb up one hill from coming out of one cave valley, one advantage of coming here hiking in the wintertime is you get to see things you normally don't get to see in the summertime, like this view right here. We're up on the Bronson Cave, trail number 3, looking at our third cave on this journey on trail number 3. 3 caves on trail number 3. I wonder if that's why they named it. But normally don't get to see this view. Right down here is twin caves. Now, if I understand this correctly, I think the water from this cave comes out of the ground here, goes back into this cave, and goes back over yonder, over this hill, down to the valley. Well, actually the water doesn't go up, it just stays down. It has an easy ride. Comes out that cave, Bronson Cave, and then shoots out of Donaldson Cave. So all 3 of these caves we're exploring, checking out on this trail today, are all interconnected. But it looks like they've built a new stairway down to the Twin Caves boat ride as well. We'll check that out. And a word of warning as you're hiking in the wintertime in Indiana State Parks, they have most of the water shut off in the parks. So that means that if you need to use the restroom, you're going to be using one of these guys. Now, they do have fairly nice, well, okay, nice is a relative word here, but these are vault toilets, or as we used to call them as a kid, pit toilets. And exactly what they are. You get to do your business and drop it into a pit down below. Not necessarily the most sanitary things, and if you have your mask with COVID-19, I would probably recommend you wear one. So we have arrived at the gateway to the Twin Caves boat ride, which normally operates during the summer, but last year due to COVID-19, it did not operate. So maybe we might get to see it run again this summer. I don't know, we'll have to see. But normally you have 2 ways you can get here. You can come on trail number 3, which we came off of, or you can drive here, and there's a little parking lot you can park. And this little building is usually staffed by DNR folks, and they'll sign you up, take reservations, and you'll get your boat ride. Now, I will give you a word of warning that these boat rides fill up fast. So if you come here during the busy time in the summer, you are definitely going to want to get here early. In fact, this is always the first thing we do if we want to take the boat ride. Is come here first thing in the morning, drive straight here, get our name on the list, pay our very minimal fee. It's actually really cheap to do this boat ride, and get on the list. Then go enjoy the rest of the park, come back at your appointed time, and enjoy. Now, for years and years, and it looks like maybe they have taken advantage of the COVID-19 shutdown to redo the pathway down there. Previously, you would walk down this stairway right here, made out of little stones that people have most likely carried down here, pasted together with some mortar, made a stairway. And this thing is, over the years, has been getting a little worn down and just a little bit rickety, little sketchy walking down this. Now we have this really nice wooden path with handrails. Now this is kind of nice of them. They built this little restway here, about halfway up from the bottom. So you can take a break, rest your feet. You have trouble climbing all these steps. And we reached the bottom. Now one thing you'll notice as you come down to these caves, in the wintertime it's 24 degrees up there, freezing cold. Down here, it's in the 50s. It's kind of warm. I could probably take my coat off down here. There's actually warm air coming out of this cave right now. But normally, you'd board the boats right here. An Indiana Department of Natural Resources guide will take you into this entrance here, into the abyss. And we're down here at the bottom of the old stairway as the new stairway traverses over. As you can see, they have seen better days, but still, if you're in good shape, easily travelable though. I'm not going to go up there because they've got it all blocked off and everything, but there's a little section down here at the bottom that you can still go up and down. Now, right across the parking lot from the entrance to the Twin Caves, we're going to continue our journey into the Donaldson Nature Preserve. And this guy right here is who it's named after, George Donaldson. That dude right there. Never killed a snake. Apparently, reportedly, he never even broke a twig. So, not sure how that goes, but how you can walk along a trail and not accidentally break a twig. Guy must have been a really, really good hiker. There are a lot of old trees here in this nature preserve. Just imagine that some of these, maybe this guy right here, was just a little twig back when old man Donaldson was alive. I think he passed away in the 1800s. That tree most likely was there, which sadly has fallen, but is the course of things as we have storms and such, and trees just get old and fall over and become food for other trees. But even though trail number 3 is the longest trail in the park, it's a very beautiful and relaxing trail. Not a lot of people take it. And as though Indiana Department of Natural Resources classifies this trail as rugged, which as you can see here, just a few roots and stuff growing up. So definitely not a stroller-friendly trail. But me, I've been on trails a lot harder than this. And I would classify this as moderate to easy. Easy moderate. There we go. Easy moderate trail. So, but it is 2.5 miles long, so, and it makes a big loop, and not a lot of places for you to get off, with the exception of the Twin Caves. You can take a shortcut back if you need to, or just turn around and go back. This is pretty neat. A couple icicles growing out from the inside of this tree. Water flowing down from up there, downhill through the tree here, out these little cracks and crevices. And one of the stops along this trail is the Spring Mill Inn, along with the Millstone Dining Room, right down that way. Our trail is right there, crossing the street here. But one of the destinations along this trail is the inn, so if you stay here, you have quick, easy access to this trail. And we have made it full circle. The entire 2.5 mile loop, which is trail number 3. Just seemed like just a few short moments ago we were traveling right down that path there, and I was so focused on going that direction I didn't notice there was this little overlook thing. So let's take a look and see what we can see here. And it looks like we are directly, yes, we are in fact directly over the entrance or exit, depending on which way you're going, to Donaldson Cave. The cave is straight down there. Oh yes, I said there would be stairs, and there are stairs. Normally you don't get to see views like this if you come here in the summer. All the leaves from the trees obscure the view down, but here in the winter, it's absolutely beautiful. You get to see a lot more. Now whenever we come here, I always recommend that we always go down. Trail number 4 is actually a loop, so this is part of trail number 4. I always like to go down these steps, but I do not like to go back up them. So if you go down them here, you come back up the other side, there are a few steps, but not as many as this, and not as rickety and small as this as well too. Now I will warn you, there are some pretty big hills going up the other direction. So what goes down here at Springville State Park must, in time, and not naturally, it's going to have to be a little work put into it, we'll go back up. Now we come to the point where we reach the base of the stairs here at the Babbling Brook, and you have two choices once you get down the bottom of these steps. And I always recommend to go to the right, because this way is the way to the cave. And we'll go back that way later. That takes us to the Pioneer Village and the rest of trail number 4. But first off, we have to go check out this cave. And just for a point of reference, just a few moments ago, we were way up there on that ledge, walking there by that rickety fence. Part of the trail has washed out here. This might get interesting. In fact, we may not make it up there because I did not bring my hiking boots. We'll see. I'm going to try to see if I can trek my way up there. All right, I am happy to report that I have made it through the treachery, and my shoes are still dry. Just to reveal, dun dun dun, ladies and gentlemen, Donaldson Cave. Oh, check it out. Some chipmunks over here. There he is. Check it out right there. Hey, guy. Oh, there's 2 of them scurrying around. It looks like they have, oh, 3. Looks like they have a little nest action going on in the, right under the rock. It's quite common to see kids, and adults too, mostly kids because they're a little more flexible, hopping on little inner tubes and floating down this. Now, I don't think that's actually technically allowed. I'm not sure. I don't see any signs saying you're not supposed to. But it makes a nice little summertime water park. And during the summertime, the water comes out of the cave with temperatures in the 50s. So it's quite crisp, really cold. But here we are at the entrance to Donaldson Cave. Now, back when I was a kid, there was this trail. You can see how it abruptly drops off. There was a boardwalk, a wooden walkway that went right along here, all the way up and around this corner. And you could easily enter. If you look here, there's a waterway coming straight out. There's a pathway to the left, and we won't be able to see it. Well, we won't be able to see it if we come down here on this rock. Let's see if we can see it. There's a path to the left and a pathway to the right. And it's kind of difficult to see, but you used to be able to walk around this corner on this ledge and go explore this side of the cave. But back in the 2000s, there was a great bat scare. Apparently, some of the bats were dying off from some kind of disease that were being supposedly carried in on shoes. I don't know if they have proven that or not. Apparently, a lot of bats died as a result. The great bat pandemic. Got some bubbles coming out here. Because back here, down this hallway, those bubbles are being generated by a waterfall way back yonder. And if you remember from a while ago, I told you there's a guy that back in the 1980s, in fact, there's a Rescue 911 show that features, you can search for it, I think you can find it on YouTube. But he apparently went in the Bronson Cave. Rains came, it flooded, and floodwaters eventually shot him out this hole right here. And they were able to rescue him, carry him down here through the treachery. Actually, back then, that wasn't quite as eroded away as it is now, and it was quite easy to walk down here. So I imagine they were probably able to catch him here. But then they had all the stairs to take him out. But he apparently survived and did well. But do check your weather forecast if you are going to go into the cave, because a little bit of rainfall upstream can be a little dangerous. I'm making my way back through the treachery here, and as you come to the edge, right where we get to some more civilized trail, I want to introduce you to, at least this is what I call Nose Rock. And it looks like he might have a little cold today. His nose looks a little green. This is one of my favorite trails here. In fact, this is one of the most popular trails here. If you come in the summertime, there are a lot of people that walk along this trail, and I think you can see why. Throughout at least a good, well, actually the entire portion of this trail is a Babbling Brook. The entire path. This is kind of a neat place to come down the brookway. You can listen carefully. It's got some bass babbling there. My microphone probably can't pick it up as well as it is. One of the cool things about if you stay at the inn or if you park in the Donaldson parking area where I parked, it's very central to everything in the park, so it's very easy to get to pretty much everything. Years ago, as you enter here, this little stand used to be a little souvenir stand. You could buy all kinds of little spring mill items. Now, if you come here to the summertime, the Village Ordinary is a little snack bar. You can pick up a bite to eat if you're hungry or need a beverage to quench your thirst. And looks like somebody has tried to build a snowman over there. As you come into the village, you'll be greeted by the weaver, which is closed right now, but usually there's somebody in there actually weaving on a weaving machine. You can't really see in there right now, but usually there's, in the summertime, on the weekends, here in the Sheik's house, built in 1830 or 1816. 200 years old this guy is. Imagine it's had some repairs along the way. But as you enter, everybody comes to see this. Yes, my friends, that is Spring Mill. Now there are actually three sources of water, three streams coming in, all babble, some babble more than the others, that come to this town. Of course, the main one is this guy right here, the big one. That comes directly from Hammer Cave, which we'll see here in just a moment. It also supplies the water for the mill. And this little stream right here comes from a little cave right up the hill there, called Whispering Cave, and I've actually been up there before, and it's pretty cool. You can hear yourself echo in there, probably why they call it Whispering Cave. And the third source right here is this little waterfall, comes from what's called the Blacksmith Cave, which is around the corner up the hill. If you want to continue on Trail 4 to make the big loop, go back behind there, and it snakes its way up the hill and back to the Donaldson parking lot where we came from. We're going to go a different way. We're going to take the Stagecoach Trail up that hill. It's pretty amazing. This old water wheel still works. Obviously, they don't run it in the wintertime because nobody here. But during the summertime, on the weekends, they run it pretty much at the top of every hour. And you can go in there and buy actual cornmeal crushed by the burr grinders there, that are powered by this big wheel. It's amazing how old this thing is. It still works. But check out that linkage. This is pretty cool. This actually works right here. It actually, they turn a series of levers inside, and it moves this guy right here, and it actually works the valve that starts and stops the mill. We'll take a trip up the hill here along the extreme Babbling Brook to see where this water comes from. Hammer Cave. Oh yes, it is really babbling now. Now this is something I've never seen before. Usually this is a waterfall up here, Water usually makes its way over this ledge and falls. But I guess due to the floodwaters, they have this gate open. I have never seen this before. It's pretty cool to see. All this water is coming through that little hole. And there's another one on the other side there that this aqueduct, as you can see, it's got a big metal pipe in there now. They cheat, I know. But that carries the water all the way back to the village, to the mill. This is the second set of falls. We have two dams here. First one and the second one. Both have a purpose. This first dam you saw down here captures the water to run the mill down the hill. This second one holds the water back and keeps it high enough for this. Right in this building here is a pump house. And that pump house pumps water all the way up that hill. They, I think it's a concrete plant or something. They do something there. But apparently the cool water aids them in their manufacturing process. So the water is pumped here, up the hill, and to wherever the plant is. The Lehigh Cement Company. That's what this dam is called. The Lehigh Cement Company Dam, and then the lower one is called the Mill Dam. And of course, all this water comes to you courtesy of Hammer Cave. And of course, no swimming, but you come here in the summertime, you see people doing it all the time. Pretty cool, yet another cave. Now you do not want to go in this one. It apparently is a really dangerous cave. Lots of water flowing through it. In fact, it's doesn't really have a good entrance, a good way to get there. Okay, I admit I made a mistake. There is a fourth source of water in this little village, but it's not natural, so I don't think it should count. What do you think? But at least I think this was installed definitely way after the pioneers were here. Fire department would have a handy dandy place to plug in. Now getting a fire truck back here would probably be a little bit different story. Now there's a few ways you can leave this village. First, obviously you can go back the way you came, or you can complete the loop on trail number 4 back behind the bathrooms over there, or there's my way. It's the Stagecoach way, and to find it, it's right here in the back of the village. It's the Stagecoach Trail, and it goes right up that hill there. Years and years ago, this was a stagecoach stop where the horses would take a break. They'd probably, I think actually what they would do, they would actually swap out the horses. They probably had a horse house somewhere. In fact, I think there's a barn back there, probably where they kept the horses, and stagecoach would come through here, stop for a little break. Maybe the people of the town would have a bite to eat here at the tavern, then be on their way. And here we go on the Stagecoach Trail. And wow, this is steep. My camera doesn't probably show you how steep this is, but can't imagine being a horse trying to drag a stagecoach up. Whew. Oh yeah, we made it to the top. A little out of breath of the Stagecoach Trail. First time ever doing that, and it is quite the workout. So the Pioneer Village down below. We're going to continue on. We're going to head off to continue on the Stagecoach Trail, which goes across over here. We're gonna let this car pass. And we're going trail number 7 here in just a second. So, all right, off we go. Now it's really cool. There's a loop that starts around the area of the inn, and this whole section of roadway here is one way, and little white stripe, cars on this side, bikes and pedestrians on that side. So it's a really nice bike trail to go along. I'm now making my way back to trail number 4 after being on the Stagecoach Trail and trail number 7. Get ready to head back to the parking lot where I parked over at Donaldson Cave, but right now we are currently above the Pioneer Village. I'm not really sure if we can see it or not very well. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, gotta see it through the trees there. Usually during the summer you don't get this view. Pretty cool. This trail, I'm sitting here thinking that if I'm going to do this, I might want to get a better microphone. Maybe even a better, I need a one of those selfie stick things, to hold me up a little bit higher away from my face. So my face currently takes up a good portion. Maybe I need one of those things that keep it from shaking as well too. A little gimbal. There we go. Yeah, be fun to have. I don't know, we'll get some more gear and we'll do some more adventures coming up. But I just want to thank you for watching today. Episode 0. First one. Kind of a pilot. Test run. And I didn't know I was going to be going to Spring Mill Park today. Just decided to go this morning. I looked at the weather for Sunday and it's a little sketchy here in southern Indiana. Get a little cold. A little bit of rain. Mixed with some snow, and that just gets nasty around this time of year. So, get out and do a little hike today. There'll be more of these today. Not today. More of these in the future. A lot more. In fact, I did go ahead and purchase, little fact, I thought originally that all of the state parks in Indiana were free in the wintertime from like November to I think April the 1st, but it's not the case here at Spring Mills. It's a very popular park, and I imagine other popular parks like Turkey Run and other places are going to be charging as well. I just broke my video. We'll see if I get. Anyway, $7 in for the day, $9 if you're out of state. If you're like me and come to Indiana state parks quite a bit, I bought the annual pass today, and that's just $50. And if you go at least 8 times, 9 times, you will get your money's worth out of it. Last year, I think I went to a state park probably close to about 20 times, maybe 25. So I went quite a bit. So we're going to explore a lot more state parks here in Indiana together this year in 2021. Good thing to do, as things are kind of still uncertain in this COVID world we're living in. Anyway, we're almost back to the parking lot, and we're walking up on it's called the Hammer Cemetery. And I do see a lot of gravestones that look pretty recent in there, so I imagine that this is still in use, active use cemetery. I see some really old ones in there as well. And a little bonus today. Didn't think I would be doing this. I didn't even know this was here. On my way back from Spring Mill State Park, there's a Martin State Forest just outside of Shoals, Indiana. I thought I would just stop for a second and take a look and see what's here, and lo and behold, I am inside a fire tower. Probably 100 feet up or so. Yeah, it's a little ways down. Definitely sketchy. There's no doubt about it. But nevertheless, very rewarding. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm stopping for a second, just a few floors down, just to show you the level of sketchiness involved in this fire tower. I have been up in several fire towers, and this, by far, is the sketchiest. No doubt about it. This wins the sketch award.